Hi everyone. So some of you are still struggling with our genetics, so I'm going to go through a walkthrough step by step and starting with our intro problems. Now I find these always easier to do if I write them out. So you can write them out and then upload your images, or you can type them, whatever works for you. So our first problem, in pea plants, blue flowers are dominant to white. Use this information to complete the following. Trait. Well, we're looking at flower color. Okay, that's our trait. And our alleles, we're going to use capital B for our dominant allele, so we know that's blue. And that means we use the lowercase b for our recessive allele. We know that our blue is dominant to our white. Now for our genotypes, we remember that everybody gets two different genes, one from mom, one from dad. So I want to look at what are the ways I can combine alleles to get the genotypes. I can combine the capital with the capital with the lowercase, or lowercase with lowercase. Now remember our vocabulary. This is homozygous dominant, heterozygous, and homozygous recessive. Now phenotypes, that's our physical trait. We're going to have blue or white. This is what we can see or test for. Those are our phenotypes. Now that we have all the basic information for our problems, let's move on to that first question that it's going to ask. Cross two heterozygous pea plants, which are what are the genotypic and phenotypic ratio of their offspring? So two heterozygous pea plants. So our heterozygous, hetero is different. That means that our two different alleles, we have a capital and a lowercase, and we're going to cross that with a capital and a lowercase. Show our Punnett square and our ratios. So I'm going to draw my Punnett square. My gametes, I have two letters here. That means my gamete is going to have only one letter, and it could get a big B or a little b. Here, same thing. I can get a big B or a little b. Now I'm going to pull all my information back together. And now I need to show my ratios. My genotypic ratio, I get by listing my genotypes. And then counting my boxes. One here, two like this, and one like this. Now, if I were doing these as percentages, I have 1 out of 4 boxes. That means that this would be 25%. 2 out of 4 boxes is 50%. And this one is 1 out of 4 boxes, which means it's 25% also. I can then look at my phenotypes and look at my phenotypic ratio. For phenotypic ratios, I'm going to simply have blue or white, and that's going to be blue, that's blue, and that's blue. So that's 3, that one's white. So I have 3 to 1. If I did these as percentages, I'd have 75% blue and 25% white. Now, if I look at question 3, show the Punnett square for the two heterozygote plants. I just did that. Give the genotypic and phenotypic ratios. I did that. Now, if I have 40 pea plants produced, how many would be, so if I look back at my Punnett square, and I'm just going to redraw it right here to make things a little easier for us. If I had 40 seeds and I were going to spread them equally, well, I have 4 boxes. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So I would know I'd have 10 in each box. So I have one box that's like this, so I'd have 10 seeds. I have 2 boxes that are like this. That means I'd have 10 plus 10 or 20. I have 1 box that is like this, so that would be 10. Now, how many would be blue? Well, I know that these are blue, that's 10, and these are blue, that's 20, so 20 plus 10 is 30. And these ones are white, so that's 10. Okay, now a tricky question. What fraction of the blue flowered offspring are this? Now, because it says blue flowered, I don't care about the white. I can only look at the blue. So I have these. And this box, that's white. So I don't want to even look at that box. That means I have 3 boxes left. So out of my 3 boxes, how many are homozygous dominant? That's 1. So our fraction is 1/3 that are homozygous dominant. A pea plant with blue flowers is crossed with a pea plant with white flowers. Okay, so let's start with that. I know I have 2 parents. Each of them have 2 alleles, and I have to figure out what they are. So I know that white is recessive. So if I have a parent that's white, that means it has to be homozygous recessive because otherwise I wouldn't see that trait. So this parent has to be the 2 little b's, homozygous recessive. The other parent is blue, and blue is dominant, so I know I have 1 of those, but I don't know what's here. Okay, so it says I do a cross of these individuals. Now, it says that in that cross, I wind up with 4 offspring. Well, I have 4 boxes. 2 have blue and 2 are white. So blue, blue, white, white. All right, what are the genotypes of everybody? Well, I already figured out that the white parent is little b, because white has to be little b. But I have white here, so that means these must be this. So I figured them out. Now, if these are blue, we already said we have to have 1 of the dominant gene, but I don't know what the other one is. Okay, now I know they had to get it from this parent, so I'm going to put that big B there. I don't know what's here yet, but I know that the other parent is little b. Well, here I have white offspring, and they had to get 2 little b's, so they got a little b from this parent and a little b from this parent, but that's not written there yet. I figured it out. Now, these got the big B from here and a little b from here. So we figured them out. So we know that the parent has to be heterozygous and the offspring is also heterozygous. It's just a puzzle. One more question. Show the Punnett Square and genotypic and phenotypic ratios of the cross in 4. Well, we did that cross. So we just have to do our ratios. So if I look at my genotypic ratios, I had 2 like this and 2 like this. If I did those as percentages, it would be 50% and 50%. For my phenotypic ratio, okay, I know that I had blue or white. And I had 2 blue, 2 white. That's also 50% and 50%. Okay, so that's our intro problems. We'll do the next worksheet or the next set of problems in the next video.